The Half-Rats mod series is a work of mad genius. It's something that could have only been dreamt up by the Half-Life community. It honestly could be its own series or novel or anything of the sort. I have a lot of positive things to say about the creator, about the series, but I'm going to focus on a recent Relit take on the Half-Rats games. Specifically Half-Rats Relit, which focuses on Half-Rats A Fever Dream and Half-Rats Parasomnia. These are the first two entries into the mod series, and as it stands, they are strong contenders for great, surreal, late 19th century horror. It shows a lot of flair by the creator and a lot of unique ideas for putting together a horror story that still falls within the realm of possibility for the Gold Source engine. I want to dive into it because I love it. And Relit does it justice.
What? Oh, now that's a welcome party. I gotta get the hell out of here quick. What are these things? Oh, no, it's stuck fast. All right, old boy, think. Ah, could there be a police station? That may hold the key. My God, what is this? Mad dogs? What? Heavens, where are their faces? Oh, to hell with this!
This isn't like the Heart of Evil Relit, where that had a lot of issues it didn't address. This not only brings Parasomnia and A Fever Dream up to speed with the anniversary update of Half-Life, but it also breathes new life into the game by introducing some features, rebalancing some stuff, and overall making it a nice modern experience. So, Half-Rats. It is a very strange, very inventive, bordering on surreal Half-Life series. It's a set of mods, a trilogy right now, that centers on the titular character of Half-Rats, a 19th century wastrel and drinker who is often a fortune hunter fighting against surreal demonic forces. These mods in particular, A Fever Dream and Parasomnia, focus on his exploits as he unwittingly goes into conflict with a demonic incursion and other forces that are threatening ordinary people in the 1880s America. In A Fever Dream, his landlord, Mr. Trask, comes under attack by demonic forces in town, so he goes out of his way to barricade it and to look for help wherever he can, fighting against strange creatures and other supernatural threats along the way. In Parasomnia, taking place apparently some point afterward, he gets word of a town that's been abandoned that supposedly holds great wealth inside of it. So he treks his way over there to reclaim it for himself to pay off some debts. And as luck would have it, the town is a hellhole full of demonic and monstrous creatures, and Half-Rats is stuck inside, forced to fight his way out, as shocking revelations come about from old companions of his and strange new enemies threatening him.
Perdition has eclipsed Providence. They're all revenants, it seems. This certainly is no place for man. That publican was right after all. Ooh, now this'll help me pick off those bastards with the guns and those other things. Oh, this calls for an amputation.
It's quite the endeavor. It's something that honestly feels like a total conversion. I mean, it is a total conversion, but it almost feels like a different game at times. Both are centered on survival horror, though they take slightly different approaches to it. A Fever Dream is smaller scale, though Relit incorporates aspects of Parasomnia back into it. The original Relit only had a couple of weapons, explained by the fact that Half-Rats couldn't carry that much on him. Relit brings in some guns from Parasomnia, and these are guns fitting of the era. So a cavalry sword, a Henry rifle, a double-barreled shotgun, and some other oddities like a Gatling gun, a cannon, some dynamite. In addition, there's also a brief option to use a shop system. It isn't done that much in A Fever Dream because, to be fair, there aren't many opportunities for it, but you can spend money on things. But what does come up of importance is the inventory system. Throughout the both mods, Half-Rats will come across valuable items that he can carry on him for health restoration and such. Like dried meat, like meat pies, like Coke lozenges that briefly make him invincible, and of course, whiskey. Drinking whiskey grants you armor, and it briefly staggers and messes with your vision and aim. So you're better off hiding and taking cover while downing that stuff. Though in the heat of a battle, sometimes you can down it if you need to boost up your armor. There's also lantern oil, which comes in handy because your flashlight doesn't recharge. You have a lantern, putting in whale oil refuels it. This sounds like it would be really frustrating, like Afraid of Monsters flashlight system, but the mod's pretty generous about the oil it gives you, so it tends to not be a hindrance unless you have it on all the time. A Fever Dream generally uses enemies from the original Half-Life, though it remodels, retextures, and reworks them to stand out more and to fit the late 19th century horror vibes of it. So there are a number of strange and fittingly demonic enemies you'll have to go toe-to-toe against in A Fever Dream. Your enemies include these monstrous pigs, these imps that shoot red lightning at you, Gargantua that is big, demonic, these assassin-like enemies that backflip around with gas masks and dual revolvers, alongside ichthyosaurs and other strange enemies you'll come across. The soundtrack's also been changed, including some original songs by the creator. His band Agu, or however you say that, made some... I think they made all the tracks, actually, for these mods. And it shows. They have a unique way of slipping between, like, heavy metal and rock, and going to ballads for that era. I really liked Of Dukes and Dimwits. That was such a fun song, and I've listened to it since. There are different gramophones and things you can find, notes that kind of spell out more about the setting. Again, items to collect, stuff you can stock up on in preparation for fights. I just really love the detail put into A Fever Dream. It isn't too confusing with its puzzles either. Things feel logical, they go along with a certain train of thought. And the only time I really got lost was not knowing how to set up the boards and barricades in the initial area of Trask's store. Outside of that, everything else felt logical and straightforward. There were some frustrating parts, like defending a train in the final section, but outside of that, it was a great mod, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, Jesus. What, it's daylight? I'm in a bed. Oh, merciful Providence. Oh, God. It must have been a dream.
I would say the store, again, it's a little underused, but not much you can do about that without adding more NPCs or vending machines. There are also gestures, which are kind of cool, and they aren't a big deal, but it's kind of neat to do different, like, inspect and provoke animations. Now then, on to the big one. Parasomnia. This has a Steam release. It doesn't really work with the anniversary updates, but it just goes to show how big this one got. And I get why. I'm amazed I hadn't played it till now. But it's a lot of fun. This is bigger in terms of scale across the board. Like I said, in Parasomnia, Half-Rats is arriving to the town of Eminence, which is seemingly abandoned until he gets into the vault there, blows it open, and finds himself overrun by zombie-like citizens, monstrous cops that are shooting at him, and other demon spawn and possessed enemies. So instead of getting out of Eminence the way he came, he's forced to fight through the town, deeper into the blood feuds and grudges that fueled its supernatural takeover, and the strange cult-like entities that are remaining inside of it, fighting for what little power's left. It is a very surreal, horror-driven story with a lot of emphasis on exploration, ammo conservation, and everything of the sort. The money system comes back in a big way here because, in addition to the shops, there are also vending machines, where you can purchase items using cash you find around levels. These are the generic things that you'll have on hand, like the dried meat, 45 caliber ammo, the whale oil, the Coke lozenges, all that stuff. You can strategize on how you want to approach different situations by going to these vending machines and using your hard-earned cash there. There aren't upgrades or anything outside of one specific story beat, but there's still useful opportunities, things to look out for. I liked how it rewarded exploration. The puzzles are a little more surreal at times, not in a good way though. They can be frustrating because they don't always follow a consistent train of logic. Though others are more straightforward, just that they're kind of out of the way and obscure. I really like the enemy variety in this too, because outside of like the zombie-like citizens, the cops who are your typical enemies, you also have some very odd choices, like these knife-wielding monster clowns that show up after the halfway point, a really cool boss fight against this magical guy with a saber, a finale boss against what could best be described as a very phallic-looking plant demon, and a bunch of other strange threats. I think that part of the charm of it is just the way the dialogue is written. It feels authentic to the era. The creator of it did a superb job voicing Half-Rats and some of the other characters and writing this script up, where very odd dialogue comes across totally naturally because of the delivery of it. It's not too often you get really good voice acting in a mod, but this has it, in addition to the great music.
Your soul will be my repast.
Oh, I think not. But I have just the victuals you need. 6 of them in fact. Open wide. Gosh, shit! What happened to my weapons?
No need to fear. I've left you with your saber. We'll have to settle this like gentlemen, not like rogues.
All right then, so be it. Prepare to defend yourself. Well, no fear. Oh, look at you, all done up like a dandy soldier.
And again, there aren't a lot of weapons in it, but the ones that are there have unique roles and purposes. They work well. I really like what's done with this. And Relit does a great job with it, because not only does it bring it back up to speed with the anniversary update, it also adds some features back to a fever dream that make it a better experience overall. I have a lot of good things to say about Relit and the Half-Rats series as a whole. My biggest complaint about Relit is that it has one fatal flaw in Parasomnia. There is a boss around the midpoint. You are fighting against this enemy called Bernard, and it's a standard boss battle where he has a weak point you're targeting with your guns, and eventually you can kill him. However, for some reason in Relit, he is invincible. He has a shield that cannot be taken down, he cannot be damaged. I have watched videos of the original Parasomnia, and you can kill him normally with any weapon. It's okay. But here, he is invincible. He withstands every bit of damage you throw at him. You cannot kill him. The only thing you can do is open up the developer console and load the next level, which puts you without the guns, and you need to cheat them back in. It's just so frustrating. Like, they did a fantastic job with this Relit treatment. It got everything it needed, it's just they totally fucked up this boss fight by making him invincible. I don't know if there was some step I missed to disable his shield, but I played around with that fight for a while, getting that stupid acid throwing sound stuck in my head, and I couldn't figure out what the strategy was, or if there even was a strategy to break down his shield. It's unfortunate that there's a soft lock in an otherwise fantastic mod. I don't know if the original Parasomnia had that, but I would have to downgrade Half-Life to play it. And plus, I like the enhancements of Relit. This is just the only problem.
And without need of any additional persuading, I swear. But if I may be but a humble advisor, I'd like to shed light on one small error I observed in your plan. And that is thus. You let me keep my weapons this time, you ass. Uh-oh.
So I would say that would be my main criticism. I don't think the puzzles really need addressing, because they're kind of both a product of their time and they fit with the surreal storytelling. My thing would be fix that Bernard fight. Fix it so that you can actually damage and kill him so you can move on and enjoy the story in the proper way. Because that actually ruined a feature that I was coming to enjoy. Around probably the 4/10 point, the 2/5 point of the mod, in Parasomnia, you get the ability to cast spells. And they're silly and fun, and they have unique abilities, like healing yourself, granting brief invincibility, shooting a fireball, or summoning a hellhound to your side as an ally. As fun as it was to summon a bunch of dogs to nip at Bernard's heels, or to throw fireballs at enemies inside of a mansion, I couldn't really do that after cheating my way past that boss because I didn't know any console command to unlock the magic spells again. They would have been nice, they were a fun feature while they lasted, and I was able to beat the mod without them. It added a layer of difficulty I hadn't expected, and it overall was still pretty satisfying. I mean, the final boss kinda sucks, I'm not gonna lie. He's a puzzle boss, and he comes after the fantastic fight with Caleb, the guy with the saber. That honestly could have been the final boss and I would have been happy. The true final boss of Parasomnia comes at a narratively strong point, but the problem is the fight itself is just kind of a puzzle instead of a proper battle, and requires you to do a lot of save scumming to make it work. But hey, it doesn't dampen the experience. Overall, Half-Rat's Relit is a fantastic entry to this mod series. I would love to sit down with, the guy himself who made Half-Rats. He goes by that title. He seems like a very creative, very eccentric, and very driven guy from everything I've read and seen. I played Half-Rat's Red Ridge a couple of years back by sheer chance, and I ended up loving that a lot. So I was kind of surprised to eventually get around to play these and realize that these are even more ambitious than Red Ridge. Like, that was a pretty cool mod in of itself, but these are even a step further. Apparently he tried other formats for telling this story, but a game seemed to work the best. And if so, I wish him the best. I hope he's able to find a future in writing or game development or anything else, because he's clearly, not only does he have VA chops, but he's also really good with games and with writing. There's even a whole backstory on Half-Rats that I never got around to reading just because of how lengthy it was, but I probably will read it now that I'm hooked on this story. And I'll probably revisit Red Ridge at some point just to see how the stories connect together.
Hello and welcome to the Black Mesa. Oh, almost gotcha. Welcome to Half-Rat School for the Unreformed. If you're here, you must be presently unreformed, and that simply won't do at all.
So, have you played any of the Half-Rats mods, or are you interested in them? Are there any mods like this out there? Because this is pretty unique, I gotta say. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Take care.
Kiss your dreams and your loved ones goodbye. Hang your head in resignation and cry. For your king and country you must die. In the field, in the mine, your death will trim the